A Night Among the Gods, a Greek mythology sleep story. Close your eyes. You are standing at the edge of a world. It is older than memory, older than the names we give to things. The sky above you is deep amber. The Greeks called it xanthos, a golden bronze, with no true word for it in the tongue you speak tonight. You are in ancient Greece, not the ruins, not the marble behind glass, the living world. The gods still breathe in the mountain winds. The olive trees bend and whisper. The sea is never quite still. It is evening, the sun is low, and you are safe here. Let your body settle. Feel the weight of where you lie. The blanket, the pillow, the warmth around you. These things are real. They are solid. They are good. You do not need to move. And now, let the ancient world come slowly to you, like a tide, like the slow return of a dream you had once, long ago and almost forgot. You are walking down a hillside in Attica. The road is pale limestone, worn smooth by thousands of years of feet. The stones are warm beneath your sandals. They have been holding the sun since morning. Now they give it back, slowly, like a long exhale. On either side of you, olive trees, old ones. Some have been growing here for 300 years. You understand this without being told. Their trunks are twisted. The bark is the color of old ash. Their leaves are silver on the underside. They catch the last light and turn it into something like starlight. The olives themselves are small, hard, dark. They hang from the branches in clusters. The smell of them is faintly bitter, deeply green, earth and salt, and something almost medicinal. It is the smell of this land. It has always been this smell. A breeze moves through the grove, soft, just enough to stir the leaves. You hear them, a dry, gentle rustling. It is like a whispered conversation between very old friends. The olive trees know each other. They have been neighbors for centuries. They are not in a hurry. You are not in a hurry either. Somewhere further up the hill, a goat bell sounds, a soft, hollow clank. Once, then silence. Then again, further away, the goat is being led home. The shepherd is a boy, maybe 12 years old, barefoot on the pale road. He does not look at you. He is watching his goats, counting them quietly in his head. It is what he does every evening. His father taught him. You pass beneath an olive branch, low enough to almost brush your shoulder. The leaves whisper against each other. Above the grove, the sky is shifting. It moves from amber to deep violet. The Greeks called it porphyra, the color of royal cloth, of the sea just before dark. Stars are appearing, not all at once. One, then another, then a scatter of them, very faint. They arrive the way they always do, tentatively, as if checking whether it is safe to come out. You find a flat stone at the base of a tree. You sit. The stone is still warm from the day. The bark behind you is rough, but solid. You lean back into it. You let the tree hold some of your weight. This is enough. This is a whole world. A hillside in Attica, the smell of olives and limestone. The goat bell has gone now into the distance. The stars are coming out, one by one. You breathe, and the grove breathes with you. The evening comes down over everything. It settles like a blanket, blue and violet and soft dark. You are not tired of this. You are exactly the right amount of tired, the kind of tired that makes everything slow and warm and good. Later, though time here moves the way it does in dreams, it does not insist. You find yourself on the long road up to the Acropolis. The hill is steep, but the path is wide, well worn and familiar. You climb slowly. The city of Athens spreads below you as you rise. You can see the agora where the philosophers argue in the afternoon. It's quieting now. For the evening, the markets have their awnings folded. There's a smell of bread drifting up from the bakeries. It's cooling now in long, slow threads. The Parthenon is above you. It's not ruined, not yet. The columns are whole, pale gold in the last light. The marble was quarried from Mount Pentelicus, only a day's journey away. It has a quality the later world will forget. It's not pure white. It's slightly golden, slightly warm, the color of cream, or the inside of a conch shell. In the evening light, it seems almost to glow from within. You climb. Your legs find a rhythm, up and up. The stones of the path are worn into a groove, a slight groove at the center. All the feet that came before you made that groove. Pilgrims, merchants, priests, children, old women carrying offerings, young men going to ask a favor of Athena on the eve of battle. You reach the top. The Propylaea, the great gateway, stands before you. Its columns frame a view of the western sky. The last of the sunlight is there, a deep orange line at the horizon. Above it, the sky fades through pink to violet, then into the first true dark blue of night. You walk through the gateway. The columns are cool and smooth when you touch them. The stone here is ancient. Even now, in this ancient time, there's something about this mountain that has always been sacred. Before the Parthenon was built, there was a shrine. Before the shrine, there was an altar. Before the altar, there was just the wind, and the height, and the feeling, the very old feeling, that this place belongs to something larger than us. You stand before the Parthenon. The great statue of Athena is inside. You can't see her now. She's in shadow, but you know she's there, 40 feet tall, gold and ivory, her helmet, her owl, her expression of grave and precise intelligence. But you're not looking at the statue. You're looking out. From the top of the Acropolis, Athens stretches in every direction. The Aegean Sea is visible to the south, a dark glimmer far away. It is barely distinct from the sky. Somewhere out there, the islands, Salamis, Aegina, the long ghost shape of the Peloponnese on the southern horizon. A torch is lit behind you, somewhere along the wall. The flame is small and steady in the windless evening. It throws a warm circle of light on the pale stone. Moths appear almost immediately. They circle it in the ancient way, the way they have always circled flames, as if they cannot quite believe it is not the sun. You sit on the steps, your back against a column. The stone against your spine is cool and solid. The city is quieter now, cooking fires, the sound of voices too far below to make out words, a dog barking, then stopping. You close your eyes. The wind moves over your face, always slightly stronger up here than in the streets below. It smells of sea salt and thyme and the warm stone of the Acropolis. Athena is behind you, the goddess of wisdom and craft and just war. She doesn't demand anything from you tonight. She's simply there, as she's always been. She'll be there long after the torches go out, long after the last pilgrim descends the hill, long after the city quiets into true night. You breathe in the high, clean air, and you let the city's sounds wash over you. Like water, the stars come out, one by one, the way they always do. The night is deeper now. The city below the Acropolis has grown still, but on the far slope of the hill, light pulses orange and red, the light of a forge. You find yourself drawn to it, not by curiosity exactly, something quieter, something that belongs to this world. The workshop of Hephaestus is built into the rock of the hillside. It is not grand, not the way the Parthenon is grand. It is practical, solid. The door is low and wide. The heat comes out of it in slow waves, like the breath of a sleeping animal. The god himself is inside. You understand this without looking. You stand in the doorway and let the warmth reach you. The smell is iron and fire and something almost sweet, the smell of metal becoming something new. The forge glows, coals the color of sunrise, banked low now. The evening work is nearly done. Tools hang on the walls, hammers of different weights, tongs, chisels, things you have no names for. Everything is in its place. There is an order here, almost calming. Hephaestus doesn't look up. He examines something small in his scarred hands, a mechanism, a joint, something articulated, the work of tremendous precision. His hands are enormous. His face is still and concentrated. He is the ugliest of the gods and the most gifted. He was thrown from Olympus as a child, thrown by his mother, some say. She was ashamed of his lame foot. He fell for a full day before he struck the island of Lemnos. He lay there, broken and burning, until the people of the island took him in. He never forgot what it meant to be taken care of, and so everything he makes carries a kind of gratitude. There are the golden robots waiting on the gods at dinner. There is the armor of Achilles, fitting a grieving father's son like a second skin. There is the net of bronze, finer than silk. He caught his faithless wife in it, her lover too. He made all of Olympus laugh, and he wept. He is not weeping now. He is working. The rhythm of the forge is like the rhythm of breathing, in and out, the bellows, the slow orange pulse of the coals. You lean against the doorframe. You let the warmth reach into your bones. The light here is not cold like the moon or the stars. It is amber and gold. It flickers gently. It makes everything soft and close and old. There is nothing you need to do, no tool to pick up, nothing you need to make. You are here only to be warm. You are here to watch the god work in his quiet way, to let the rhythm of the forge carry you, somewhere slower, somewhere deeper. The small mechanism turns in his hands. Something clicks. He sets it down. He examines it from a different angle. He nods once to himself. A small satisfaction, a thing made right. The coals pulse, settle. The heat comes in waves, slow and steady. Your eyes are heavy, not heavy with worry or with work, heavy with warmth, heavy with the late hour, heavy with the good tired weight of an evening spent walking through an ancient, breathing world. Hephaestus picks up a file. He begins to smooth a rough edge. The sound is soft and rhythmic, a dry whisper of metal. You let it carry you, deeper, slower, into the warm dark. Chapter 4. The Temple of Poseidon at Sounion. South of Athens, Attica narrows to a point. The land runs out into the Aegean. There's a cape, a cliff. At the top of the cliff, the temple of Poseidon, the god of the sea, the horses, the deep earth. It stands where it has always stood, as long as the Greeks have had ships. You are here now. The walk down from Athens took you along the coast road. The sea stayed to your left the entire way, close enough to hear, close enough to smell. The road is empty at this hour. A cart passed you an hour ago going the other direction. The driver was half asleep on his bench. The donkey knew the way home without instruction. The cape rises sharply from the water. The path up to the temple is steep. You climb slowly the way you have been climbing all evening, without urgency, one step at a time, your body finding the rhythm of the hillside. The temple appears as you crest the rise. It is smaller than the Parthenon, but up here, on this point of rock, with the sea on three sides, it needs no scale. It simply needs to be present, and it is. 18 columns remain standing. You can see the gaps where others have fallen. They are the particular white of limestone, bleached by salt air and sun over centuries, not the warm gold of the Parthenon's marble. This stone is cooler, sharper, the color of moonlight. You walk to the edge of the cape. Beyond the temple, the cliff drops to the sea. 100 feet below, the water is dark. It moves in long, heavy swells, coming in from the open Aegean. You can hear it, a deep, low sound, the sound of deep water against deep rock, not violent, just enormous, the most honest sound in the world. It is the sound of something that does not care, not about the temple, not about any of this. It was here long before the temple. It will be here long after, and it is not unkind about it. Poseidon is here. He is always here, not on the temple steps, not in the columns, in the water itself, in the weight and the depth and the relentlessness of the sea. The Greeks understood this. The gods were not separate from the things they governed. Poseidon was not the god of the sea. He was the sea thinking, the sea as it thinks of itself when it has faces and a name. The swell rises below you, falls, rises again. The sound is absolutely steady. In and out, in and out. The same rhythm it has kept for 10,000 years. The moon is high now. The sea under it is silver and dark. Silver where the light catches the crest of the swells, dark in the troughs, far out, very far, at the edge of where your eyes can reach. A ship is moving. Its sail catches the moonlight. It is going somewhere. It is not in distress. It is simply a ship in the night, going where it is going, guided by the stars and the feel of the wind, and by the knowledge in the captain's hands of exactly where he is in the world. You sit at the base of one of the columns. It is cool against your back, smoother than it looks. the stone worn by years of salt wind. The temple is open on all sides. No door, just the colonnade, the sea visible through every gap between the pillars. The wind up here is steady, not cold, not quite warm, the perfect temperature for the end of a long evening. It moves over your face, through your hair, and you let it. Below, the sea. Above, the stars. The swells come in, one after another, patient and vast and perfectly indifferent to everything you have ever worried about. There is something in that indifference, something that is not cruel. In its own way, a kind of comfort. The sea will not remember your troubles. Your troubles are small in the long accounting of water and stone and time, small enough not to require remembering. The swell rises, falls, the sound fills you, then empties you, then fills you again. You breathe with it. The sea is not far. It is never far from Athens. The Greeks understood this. They built their city within sight of the water, within walking distance of the ships. The sea was not a border. The sea was the road. You are at the Harbor of Piraeus now. The air is cool here, cooler than the forge, cooler than the olive grove. The smell of salt is sharp and clean and ancient. The smell of kelp, of timber, of rope, and the particular mineral smell of water that has traveled very far to get here. The harbor is quiet. The trading ships are anchored for the night. The sails are furled, the hulls rocking gently on the dark water. Some of them have painted eyes on their prows, wide, dark eyes, always watching, always looking toward the horizon. The Greeks painted them there, so the ship could see its way home. You walk along the quay. The stones are wet and cool beneath your feet. The water to your left is black and still. A reflected moon passes slowly across it, not quite round tonight, just past full, just beginning its long decline. A fisherman sits at the end of the quay. He is mending a net. He is old. His hands move through the net the way a musician's hands move through a familiar piece, without looking, without thinking, by pure knowledge of the material. The net spreads across his lap and onto the stones around him, dark and fine as a shadow. He does not look up as you pass. He is not ignoring you. He is simply very deep in his work. His work tonight is the net, and the net is enough. You sit at the edge of the quay. Your feet hang over the water. You look out across the harbor. The lights of the ships are small and yellow. Oil lamps hung from the mast, swaying slightly with the water's movement. They look like fireflies hovering over a dark field. Somewhere across the harbor, a sailor is singing, low and slow, a working song, a rowing song, the kind you sing to keep the oars moving in time. Tonight there are no oars. Tonight it is just the song, freed from its purpose, floating on the water like a piece of wood. You breathe in the salt air, in, out. The water below you is very dark and very deep, and it is not frightening. It is the oldest thing you have ever been this close to. This water was here before the city, before the ships, before the gods gave names to things. It will be here long after. The moon shifts on the water. The reflected light breaks, and reforms. A small wave passes under it, and then it is whole again. The fisherman's hands move through the net, in, out, slow and steady. The sailor's song drifts across the water. It has no words you can understand, only rhythm, only breath. You watch the light on the water. You let the sound of the sea come in, and come in, and come in, the soft lapping against the stones, the creak of the moored ships, the distant singing. You let it all blur together into something that is less like sound and more like sleep. The road from Piraeus curves inland. Gradually the smell of salt gives way. Something warmer rises now, something sweeter. Grapes, the concentrated sweetness of grapes left on the vine, left until they are nearly raisin, nearly wine, nearly transformed into something beyond themselves. You're in a valley now, low hills on either side, covered in vines. The vines are old, their roots go deep into limestone soil. They search for water through the long dry months. The grapes hang heavy and dark from the wires. They catch the moonlight, each one a small globe of stored summer. This is the domain of Dionysus, not Dionysus the wild, not the god of frenzy and masks and madness. That is one of his faces, the young one, the dangerous one, the face he turns toward those who need shaking loose. Tonight he wears his other face, the older one, the god of the harvest, of abundance, of the long summer afternoons when grapes ripen slowly, when the air smells of sweetness, when the farmers walk between the rows and let themselves just briefly feel satisfied. They check each bunch with careful hands. They are still. They are here. You walk between the rows of vines. The leaves brush your shoulders. They are broad and slightly rough, a deep green that looks almost black. The clusters hang dark around you, black grapes, the kind this valley is famous for. You can smell the sweetness from here. The fermentation is already beginning, on the skins of the ripest ones. At the center of the vineyard, there is a stone pavilion, open on all sides. A table, clay cups, a jar of wine sealed with cloth. Someone has been here recently. The charcoal of a small fire is still faintly warm. A bowl of olives, fresh bread, beside the wine jar. Quiet here, perfectly quiet. You pour a cup, you hold it to the moonlight. The wine is deep red, almost black. It smells of dark fruit, and something spiced, and something you can't name. It feels somehow like a memory. You drink slowly. The warmth reaches into your chest and spreads, not the warmth of intoxication, the warmth of nourishment, of a thing perfectly made for this evening and no other. You sit at the table. The valley is very quiet. No wind tonight. The vines stand still. The moon is higher now. It lays a pale silver path across the vine tops. The grapes catch the light. In the myths, Dionysus was born twice, once from his mother, who died before his birth was complete, and again from Zeus himself. Zeus carried the child sewn into his own thigh until the time was right to be born twice. That was the god's first great transformation. He understood from the very beginning that change was not destruction, that something could die into something better. The grapes understand this too. They are going to change into wine, into vinegar one day, into the earth, and into next year's vine. They are not afraid. They hang in the moonlight, patient and full and finished. You hold the cup and breathe in the smell of the valley, sweet and warm and still. The bread is soft, the olives are perfectly cured. The night is very gentle here. Dionysus is somewhere in the vineyard. You can feel him, the way you sometimes feel a particular quality of light, diffuse and quiet, not in one place, everywhere. He is pleased you are here. He is not going to do anything about it. That is the most extravagant hospitality there is, to be pleased by someone's presence and to leave them entirely to themselves. You drink. The night settles around you, sweet and dark and full. The road northwest from the vineyard climbs steadily. The valley falls away behind you. The air becomes cooler with altitude. The smells change. No more grapes, no more salt, no more the warm clay smell of lowland soil. Up here, the air carries pine resin and cold water. It carries the sharp mineral smell of high limestone country. You walk in the moonlight. The road is good. The sacred road to Delphi has been maintained for centuries. The pilgrims never stop coming. The road must be worthy of them. It is broad enough for 2 ox carts to pass. The stones are fitted well, only slightly uneven beneath your feet. Olive trees still grow at this altitude. They are smaller here, gnarled and compact. The soil is thin. The winters are cold. Their leaves are the same silver underneath, but the mountain wind moves them differently, faster, more urgent. They know the weather changes quickly up here. They are always ready. You pass a spring. Someone has built a stone trough to catch the water from the hillside. The water runs in a thin, clear stream, cold to look at, cold to hear. A cup has been left beside it, on a flat stone. Travelers have been stopping here for as long as this road has existed. You stop too. The water is very cold. It comes from deep in the mountain. It hasn't warmed yet. You cup it in your hands and drink. It tastes of nothing except cold and clean. The mineral truth of stone. You feel it move through you, down your throat and into your chest. For a moment, the cold is the most real thing you've felt all evening. Then your hands warm, the cold fades, and you are walking again. The moon has moved westward. It is behind you now. Your shadow goes ahead of you on the road, faint and long. On either side, the mountains are dark shapes against the sky. The sky above them is a deep, clear blue, the blue of a sky with no cities near it, no fires except a shepherd's camp far up on the slopes. You round a bend, and the valley of Delphi appears below you. It is smaller than you expected, cradled between the cliffs of Mount Parnassus. The cliffs rise steeply on either side. The sanctuary is visible in the moonlight. The temples, the treasuries, the sacred precinct, buildings of white marble, pale and clean, arranged in a curve along the hillside above the valley floor. You stand at the bend in the road. You look at it. The most famous place in the Greek world. Kings have come here, tyrants, heroes on their way to their dooms, ordinary people with ordinary griefs. The road beneath your feet has carried all of them. Now it carries you. You are as real as any of them, as temporary, as worthy of being here. The valley is absolutely still at this hour. The wind has stopped. There is only the sound of your own breathing and the very faint sound of the spring, the one you passed, growing fainter behind you with each step. You walk slowly down toward the sanctuary. The road curves, it descends. The smell of laurel is stronger here. Bay laurel grows all around the sacred precinct, planted and tended for centuries. Its smell is clean, slightly sharp, completely distinct. The gate to the sanctuary is open. The sacred way winds up through the precinct. It passes the stone treasuries of the Greek cities, small temple-shaped buildings. Offerings have been brought there for centuries. The moonlight makes the marble glow. You walk the sacred way slowly, past the altar, up and up to the temple, and then past it to the cave. There is a mountain at the center of the world. The Greeks called it the navel, the omphalos, Delphi. It sits high on the slopes of Mount Parnassus. Zeus sent 2 eagles from opposite ends of the earth. They were sent to find its center. They met here, above this valley. The oracle was established here. For 1,000 years, human beings came to ask their questions. They went away with answers. Answers they spent their lives unraveling. You are here now. The path up from the valley is steep. The air is thinner at this altitude. The smell of the mountain is different from the coast. Rocky, sharp. There is the smell of laurel and of cold water rising from underground springs. The oracle's cave is set into the cliff face. It is smaller than you expected. The stone around the entrance is dark and smooth, worn smooth by the hands of those who touched it on their way in. A wreath of dried laurel hangs above the door. Bay laurel, sacred to Apollo, sacred to this place. Inside, the cave is cool, very cool, after the warmth of the evening below. The smell is sulfur, faint and mineral. It is the breath of the mountain, coming up through cracks in the rock. The oracle breathes this air and speaks. But the oracle is not here tonight. The cave is empty, very still. You sit on the cool stone floor. You lean back against the wall, and you listen. There is a sound, very low, almost below hearing. The mountain is speaking to itself, in the language mountains use, a language of settling stone, of water moving deep underground, the long, slow conversation of geology. It is not frightening, it is profoundly calm. This is the place where people came to ask what their lives meant. Kings who could not decide whether to go to war, parents who had lost children, young men who did not know which direction to go, old women who wanted to know if they had lived correctly. They all came here. They all sat in this cave. They breathed the mineral air and waited for the voice of the god. And the answers they received were always true, just never in the way they expected. Know thyself, carved above the entrance. Know that you are mortal. Know that the gods will not do what you refuse to do for yourself. Know that the questions are as important as the answers. You don't have a question tonight, not one that needs asking. You are here only to sit in the cave at Delphi, to let the mountain speak in its low, inhuman voice. Feel the cool stone against your back. Let the darkness and the silence do what they have always done. Remove very gently everything that is not essential. Your breathing slows. The cave breathes with you, or you breathe with it. It is the same thing. The mineral smell of the deep earth, the cold, clean air of the mountain. You are still. You are here. You are safe. This is the center, not just of Greece, of something older. It's the place where the world folds into itself, and you can feel, if you're very still, the pulse beneath everything. You are very still. Chapter 7. The Gardens of the Hesperides. There's a place at the edge of the world. The ocean there is always the color of evening, even at noon. The light never quite becomes dark. It never quite becomes bright. It stays always in that perfect interval, the color of amber, the color of honey, the color of the last moment before sleep. The Hesperides live here. They are the daughters of Atlas and Hesperides. She is the goddess of the evening star. They tend a garden at the western rim of the world. It's where the sun goes each evening, where it rests. You are in the garden now. The trees here are unlike any trees you know. The trunks are silver. The leaves are hammered gold, real gold, beaten thin as paper. When the breeze moves through them, they catch the amber light. They scatter it in patterns across the ground. From their branches hang the golden apples, Hera's apples, the wedding gift of the earth herself, to the queen of the gods. They are warm to the eye, not the cold yellow of unripe fruit. They are the deep amber gold of honey, of lantern light, of late afternoon. The Hesperides move through the garden, tending. There are 3 of them, or 4. The myths don't agree. They are tall and unhurried. Their voices, when they speak, are low and musical. They speak in a language older than Greek. They have been here so long. They have become part of the place. Their hair is the same amber as the light. Their hands move through the golden leaves, without disturbing them. You walk slowly through the garden. The ground beneath your feet is soft. It is covered in something between moss and grass, pale and fine, cool to the step. The smell here is extraordinary. There is the gold of the apples, the mineral smell of the silver trunks, and the faint salt of the distant ocean at the garden's edge. There is no danger here. This is not a place for quests, not a place for trials. Heracles came here once, for the apples. The Hesperides helped him. They did not hold the apples back. Beauty at the edge of the world is not made smaller by being seen. You sit beneath one of the golden trees. The apple above you is large and ripe. It hangs on its branch, perfectly still. The light that comes through the leaves is shifting and warm. You close your eyes. You feel it on your face. The Hesperides continue their work nearby. Their voices are so low now, so low they are indistinguishable from the leaves, indistinguishable from the sound of the distant ocean. This is the far edge, the western boundary. Beyond the garden is the ocean that circles the world. Beyond the ocean, nothing any human has ever seen and returned from. But here, at the edge, it is not threatening, it is peaceful. Edges are always peaceful when you are standing on the safe side of them. The amber light deepens, everything softens. The golden apples glow warm in the dusk that is always here. You breathe, and the garden breathes. Time at the edge of the world moves very slowly. It barely moves at all. You could stay here a very long time. Far away and then closer, a new place begins to form. The Summit of Olympus. The gods live at the top of the world. Not on a mountain exactly, or not only on a mountain. Olympus is the mountain, and also the place above the mountain, above the clouds, above the weather, above the reach of ordinary sight. It is the dimension of the divine. The mountain is only how it touches the human world, the lowest edge of the infinite, brushing the highest edge of the finite. You have been carried here, not by any vehicle, not by any effort of your own. You simply find yourself here, the way you find yourself in certain dreams, already arrived, already in the midst of it, with no memory of the journey and no need for one. The summit of Olympus is nothing like the mountain below. Below there is snow and rock and wind. Up here, where the gods actually live, there is a stillness. The word stillness was made for this place, and still it fails. There is a warmth here, a golden light, not the light of any sun, not the light that arrives from somewhere. It is the light that simply is, that has always been here. The hall of Zeus opens before you. It is vast, but not threatening. Its columns are made of something you have no word for, not marble, not gold, not stone, something with the weight of all three. They simply are. The hall extends further than your eyes can follow, in any direction, far and further still, quiet, just the hall, just the light. The gods are here. You sense them, not as figures exactly, more as qualities. Athena is here as clarity, the moment when something difficult becomes suddenly completely simple. Artemis is here as the stillness just before a deer bolts, that held breath, that pause before motion. Apollo is here as a musical phrase, one that resolves exactly where it should, carried in suspension, just long enough, then it settles. You walk through the hall. The floor beneath you is smooth and warm. Your footsteps make no sound. Around you, the presences of the gods are like weather, not intrusive, simply present. The way a room holds its temperature, you don't notice it, but it is there. The way light in a particular place has a quality, you feel it, but you cannot name it. Zeus himself is not on his throne. The throne is there, enormous, worked in gold and ivory, inlaid with something that shifts, like an aurora, slow and silent and vast, but the king of the gods is not sitting in it. He is in the way of very powerful beings, simply everywhere, the way the atmosphere of the earth is everywhere, pressing gently, inevitably, against everything. You breathe, and that is enough. You find a seat near one of the great columns. The warmth of this place is extraordinary. Not hot, not uncomfortable. It is the warmth of complete safety. The warmth of a place where nothing can reach you. Nothing that hasn't already been transformed by the time it arrives. You are held here, entirely held. You drift and breathe and are still. A peacock walks past you. Hera's peacock. Its feathers trail across the warm floor. Each one is marked blue and gold and green, that same eye pattern, watching. It regards you with one golden eye. It finds you uninteresting. It continues on. Nectar is being poured somewhere nearby. You can smell it. Not wine, not honey, not any flower you know. It borrows from all of them, and it is its own thing, the smell of something ancient, distilled into a liquid. It does not make you hungry. It makes you settled, the way the last piece of a puzzle settles into place, the way a note of music finds its resolution. You breathe the air of Olympus, the purest air there is. It has never been breathed by anything mortal, until now. It enters you, and it does something air usually cannot do. It quiets the part of you that is always, slightly, on alert, the part that listens for the thing that might go wrong. Nothing is going to go wrong. You are on Olympus. The gods are here. The hall is warm. The peacock has gone around a column. The nectar smell drifts. The golden light holds steady. You close your eyes. The warmth of the divine hall is behind your eyelids, inside your eyelids, everywhere. Chapter 9. The River Lethe. There are rivers in the underworld, 5 of them. Each one carries something different, but tonight you find only one. The River Lethe runs through a place that is neither day nor night. The sky above it, if it is a sky, is a soft, even grey, not the grey of a coming storm, not threatening. It is the grey of a room, with the curtains drawn just enough, gentle, diffuse, like light coming from everywhere at once, from no source at all. The river itself is clear and very still. It does not rush. It barely flows. It moves the way sleep moves. Not a current exactly, more like a slow breathing. The water finds its way, without urgency. It moves between the pale, smooth stones of the riverbed. Let means forgetting. The souls of the dead were brought here to drink, before they could be reborn, before they could return to the world. They had to let go. Every grief, every memory, every argument, every regret, every love that had hurt them, every hurt that had become love, everything. They drank the water, and they forgot. You kneel at the edge of the river. The stones beneath you are smooth and white. You cup the water in your hands. It is cold, very clear. You look through your cupped palms. You see the grey light of the sky reflected there, and beneath that, the pale stones of the riverbed. You drink. The water is cool. It doesn't taste of anything. It tastes of nothing. That is its nature. That is the point. As it moves through you, something loosens, something you have been holding, not consciously, not deliberately. The way we hold things, without knowing we hold them, it lets go. Not everything, not memory, not love, nothing that matters is taken from you, only the weight of things. The particular heaviness, the kind that comes from carrying the past too tightly, a little too constantly, a little too close. You let it go, into the river, into the clear, still water. It flows without hurry, between the pale stones, softly away. You stay at the river's edge a while. The water moves, the grey light holds steady. There is no sound here, except one, the very faint, very slow sound of water over stones. Even that is barely a sound. It is more like the memory of sound, like the place where sound goes when it finishes, your hands are still wet. The water evaporates slowly. You feel it cool on your palms. You breathe longer, slower. Everything is a little lighter now. Chapter 9. The Meadows of Asphodel. Before Elysium there is a place. It is called the Meadows of Asphodel. This is where most of the dead come, not the great heroes. They go to Elysium, not the terrible ones. They go elsewhere. The ordinary ones come here, the people who lived neither brilliantly nor badly. They were kind when kindness was easy, sometimes not when it wasn't. They tried, sometimes they failed. They tried again, or they didn't. The meadows are full of asphodel, pale flowers, white and grey, nodding in a wind you can barely feel. They grow in dense knee-high drifts, across the flat ground, stretching in every direction, as far as you can see. There are no landmarks here, no hills, no trees, except for one, a white poplar, in the center of everything, enormous. Its roots drink from the River Lethe, which passes nearby. The shades move among the flowers. There are many of them. They are not sad. They are not much of anything. They are here, the way dreams are here, present and real, but without the urgency that comes from having a body, from hunger, from cold, from time running out. They wander among the asphodel. Their faces are peaceful, a little blank. There is something in their expressions, very close to what you feel at the end of a long day, when everything is finished and you haven't started thinking about tomorrow yet. You walk among them. They don't notice you, not rudely, just the way people don't notice the wind. You are part of the atmosphere here. You belong. The asphodel brushes your legs. The flowers are very delicate. Each one is a slender spike with small pale blooms arranged along it. They sway at the slightest touch. You are leaving a trail, a slightly flattened path of bent flowers. They will spring back as soon as you pass. They will leave no trace at all. A woman sits in the asphodel, not young, not old. Her eyes are open, looking at nothing in particular. The middle distance, the sky, the white poplar. She has her hands folded in her lap. She is entirely still. She is not asleep. She is simply in the meadow. It is where she has always been. It is where she will always be. You sit near her, not too close. The asphodel sways around you both. The light here is diffuse and grey and even. It does not change. It is the light of a day with total cloud cover, not threatening, just overcast. It is the kind of light that makes no shadows. It hurts no eyes. It goes on without drama. The white poplar makes a sound in the mild wind, a dry, soft rustling, very faint. It is the only sound here, besides your own breathing, and the occasional brush of the asphodel against itself. This isn't where you're going to stay. You know that. You are only passing through, but there is something in the meadow you want to take with you. Something about the quality of the stillness here, the way the shades move through the flowers, without urgency, without destination, the way the light does not hurt. You breathe in the asphodel. The flowers have a faint smell, green and slightly sweet and slightly soft, like olive leaves at the beginning of evening, but softer, more faded. The smell of something that was once fully itself, and is now something gentler. You stay for a while. The woman beside you stays too. The poplar rustles. The shades move among the flowers in their slow and purposeless way. The grey light holds. The meadow goes on. Then, quietly, the light ahead of you begins to change. Beyond the Lethe, the light changes. It becomes golden, not the amber gold of the Hesperides garden, something warmer, more like sunlight filtered through a very fine cloth, like the light in a room on the late afternoon of a perfect day. It is the light that makes everything it touches look exactly as it should, no more and no less. The Elysian Fields. In the old stories, this is where the heroes came, the great ones. Achilles chose a short and brilliant life over a long and obscure one. He is here now, no longer angry, no longer burning with glory hunger, just here, walking in the long grass with an unhurried step. But you don't see heroes here, or perhaps, from a certain angle, everyone is. The people moving through this place are ordinary, quiet, real. A woman with a kind face walks slowly. She is looking at the flowers. An old man sits in the shade of a fig tree. His eyes are closed. His hands are loose in his lap. Children far away. Their voices drift to you on the warm air. They are playing a game. You can't make out its rules from here. The grass is long and golden, not dead, not dry, but the particular gold of late summer. It bends slightly in a breeze so gentle it is almost not a breeze. Flowers grow through it, white ones, small like stars, and something blue, and something the pale yellow of new butter. You walk through it, the grass brushes your calves, the flowers bend and spring back as you pass. The ground beneath is soft and slightly yielding. Your feet make no sound. There is no hunger here, no cold, no task waiting, no one who needs anything from you. There is only this, the golden light, the long grass, the sound of the children far away, the old man under the fig tree. You find a place where the grass is thick and soft. You lie down, the grass rises around you and partly over you. Above, only the golden sky. It is filled with a light so even, so warm. It seems to come from the sky itself, not from any sun. The grass smells sweet, warm, like bread in the oven, like sunlight on wood, like the particular smell of an afternoon that has been perfect and is now ending in the best possible way. A bee moves past you low over the grass. Its sound is the most peaceful sound you have ever heard. That low, certain hum, that absolute purposefulness, the sound of something that knows exactly what it is doing and is entirely content. The old man under the fig tree has not moved. The children's voices, far away, rise briefly and then settle. The golden light stays steady, warm and even and good, still steady, still warm, still good. You let your eyes close. At the far edge of Elysium, the golden grass thins. The hillside rises, dark and still. There is a cave there. Not the oracle's cave. That one was cold, mineral, alert. This cave is warm, the entrance is low and wide. From it comes a sound, soft, almost too low to name. You have been hearing it without knowing, for hours perhaps. A hum, a deep and steady hum, the sound of a place devoted to one thing only. Hypnos lives here, Sleep himself, the god. He is the twin brother of Thanatos, Death, and in the Greek imagination, they are not opposites, they are siblings, close siblings. Sleep is the little death, the rehearsal, the nightly practice of letting go. Every night you close your eyes, you practice, you let go, gently and without knowing, and every morning you come back, you always come back. Hypnos is not the dramatic brother. Death carries a sword in some of the old stories, or a torch held downward. Hypnos carries poppies. He moves through the world, making things quiet. The things he touches simply let go. The eyes of tired gods, the limbs of wounded heroes, the minds of people who cannot stop thinking. The cave is draped in a darkness, unlike other darkness, not the darkness of a room with the lights off. That darkness has an edge, a memory of light, a reminder of what was. This darkness is different. It is complete, self-sufficient. It has been dark here since before anything was bright. It will be dark here long after the last torch is gone. But it is not frightening, no. It is deeply, specifically comfortable. The way your own bed is comfortable, familiar, made for you. The darkness fits you, the way a blanket fits, the way your own pillow fits, the way the exact right temperature fits, just so. In the center of the cave, Hypnos reclines. He is beautiful, the way very still things are beautiful, complete, self-contained. Not seeking, not reaching. His eyes are almost closed. His breathing is slow, slow enough to become a metronome for yours. In his hand, a horn. From it, he dispenses sleep. Not the horn of plenty. That one pours out good things. This horn pours out nothing. Nothing at all. Just the sweet, absolute nothing of sleep. The River Lethe passes through the edge of the cave. You can hear it, barely, the faintest sound of water over stones, fainter than a whisper, the sound of the river that carries forgetting. The sound of putting down. You sit at the entrance to the cave. You don't need to go in. The warmth from the cave comes to you where you sit. The darkness reaches out to the edges of your vision. It softens the shapes there. The golden grass of Elysium on one side, the dark stone of the hillside on the other, until they're both equally soft, equally dim, equally gentle. Hypnos does not speak. He never speaks. His work is silence. His gift is the removal of all that is not rest. One by one, the things that have been keeping you company, they don't disappear. They settle, like sediment, settling through water, finding their place at the bottom of you, quiet and still. The smell of the olive grove, the sound of the harbor, the warmth of the forge, the wine, the cold spring water, the grey light of the meadow, settled now, all of it settled. The hum of the cave continues, steady and low, older than language. Your breathing is very slow now. Your body is entirely heavy, entirely still. The darkness of Hypnos cave has reached you completely. It's in your hands and your feet and behind your eyes and in the long muscles of your back that have finally let go. You breathe, barely. And the cave holds you. At the edge of Elysium, the golden grass thins. It becomes something softer, something that's not quite grass, not quite cloud, not quite either. There is a figure. He's young in his face, but old in his eyes. He wears dark wings, folded behind him. The feathers are the deep blue of a night with no moon. He is the son of sleep and the nephew of death. He is neither frightening nor welcoming. He is simply there, the way a door is simply there. He does not decide whether you go through it. Morpheus, the shaper of dreams. He holds a poppy, small and red, the kind that grows at the edges of grain fields in summer. Its petals are thin, almost see-through. He turns it slowly in his fingers. He is not looking at you. He is looking at the poppy, or through it, or at something only he can see. He does not speak. He does not need to. You already understand the way you understand things in this part of the night. What comes next is simply what comes next. There is nothing required of you. The work of the evening is finished. You've walked through the olive groves at dusk. You've stood on the Acropolis and watched the city go quiet. You've felt the warmth of Hephaestus' forge. You've breathed the salt air of Piraeus. You've tasted the dark wine of Dionysus' Vale. You've sat in the oracle's cave and listened to the mountain. You've rested in the Hesperides garden. You've knelt at the River Lethe and let the weight of things go. You've lain in the long grass of Elysium under the golden sky. You're ready. Morpheus lets the poppy fall. Its petals come apart slowly, each one a small red piece of evening. They catch the fading light as they drift down and gone. And the wings behind him open, not suddenly, not dramatically, not the way wings open in the stories, slowly, the way a door opens in a house where everyone is already asleep, with the gentlest push, with the smallest sound. And what comes through is darkness, not frightening darkness. It is the darkness of your own room, when you are warm and comfortable, and the day has been finished. The darkness that means rest, that means exactly this loosening, this settling, this permission. You breathe in. The air smells of poppies, of old stone, of the distant sea. You breathe out. The breath goes, and you let it go. What you let go with it is the last small thread of the day, the last thought that was trying to stay, the last thing that almost needed doing. It goes, and you're here, only here, in the place where the myths end and the dreaming begins, in the warm dark, under the wings of the god of dreams, in the space between the ancient world and the world that waits. Sleep now. The olive trees are still on the hillside. The Acropolis stands. The forge is warm. The harbor is dark. The ships are safe. The vines hold their grapes. The oracle's cave is cool. The golden apples glow at the edge of the world. The river runs clear between its pale stones. The grass of Elysium bends and springs and bends. Everything is exactly where it should be. Everything. And you're here. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.